Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the private server Rebirth. We are with our level 40 Stalker Tiger Shrike, who has almost 9 million, 8.8 million experience. We'll be at 10 million when we get to level 41. 23.7 million influence, and we are on a story arc, the Antimatter Collision. Part 5. It was weird that the Carnival of Shadows had such a profound effect in confusing Antimatter's clockwork invaders. We've got a tip about where the Carnival members who escaped the battle at Waxahachie are holed up. Go there and see if they have anything to further our understanding about the situation. So we're going to be fighting Carnies in this. It's a little early to fight Carnies, it seems to me. But I guess level 40, may as well get started on them. We're going to be fighting them a lot in the 40s. I honestly don't think this... I know for sure this story arc was not in the original game. I could have sworn that Tina McIntyre gave us a different story arc to start out with Silver Phoenix, but I could be, because I don't remember fighting these guys at all with Silver Phoenix until much later, the Praetorians, and going into the Praetorian labs and things like that. I'm gonna have to go back and check her story arcs, but I think Tina McIntyre gave an entirely different story arc to Silver Phoenix. Alright, so we're going to talk to the person in charge. This means we're going to beat up all the carnies. We'll see if I have... wait a minute. Hold on. Where's the hospital? I don't want greens, I want blues, especially if we're going to fight carnies. This is going to be much more difficult than it was with Silver Phoenix, because I cannot avoid the Carney death drain when you defeat them. Every single Carney has an area effect radius death scream that drains your endurance if it hits. Now we have some AoE defense with our hide power, but I don't think it's the kind of defense. If we look at it here on info, so you have 2% defense normally, and then you get +4 defense when we are stealthed, and we get +46 AoE, but I don't think that the AoE defense, I don't know if we can check it, I don't think it acts in combat once you're no longer hidden. See if I can add that to it. Right, see there's that 2%, right, and then the +46% is just while hidden, right? Just like up here, we have the 2% and then the 4.6%, right? That 4.6% goes away when we are no longer hidden. So if I show this, can we monitor it? Yeah. We're not going to leave it up all the time. Oops, I didn't do what I came in here for. But so the reason I went in here is to get endurance pills, and I think we're going to need a lot of them, because the carnies will drain endurance like crazy. So we don't need all these. I actually think we're going to run with this setup, at least for now, with the carnies, because I think if this AoE drops to 2% while we're in combat, then even assassinating them, we're going to get drained. They're going to hit us like half the time, and that means that in any spawn, we're going to get drained at least once, possibly all 3 times. And that's just going to kill our endurance, which we're already barely not struggling with as it is, right? I mean, endurance is okay most of the time, but if we get into a fight with a tough boss, we sometimes struggle with it. This is why I want to get physical perfection and slot it, So, if we're going to be fighting carnies, we want a lot of blues. Now, why do I just burn inspirations? They only cost 50 each, right? You can get an entire tray for like 1,000, and we have millions of influence. Millions more than we're ever going to need. So let's take a look at the hit rolls here, and what I want you to see is the chance to hit me with the AoE, right? You're going to watch this drop, I think, when I'm no longer hidden. Yep. So, his Psychic Visage had an 85% chance to hit me. You see? 85%, which means they're going to hit me every single time. Right? Compare this with Silver Phoenix, where it was like 30%. Now, if it's one guy, who cares? He'll drain my endurance, and by the time I go to the next... he missed because he rolled an 88, but normally he drains my endurance and I just go to the next guy. Right? But if I'm in a spawn of 3 or 4, or if I aggro or something... See? They just brought my endurance down to here. So, we're definitely going to want... And we can take AoE defense off. We don't need this anymore. Right, because all of our defenses are essentially the same. It's just 2.5% when you're actually in combat. Right, which tells me there's essentially no point to ever putting slots in hide. Because you can't make yourself more hidden. And you can't... and the most you could do is bring your 2.5% up to like 4%. It's not worth it. See? Hit me again. Right? And if it's just one every time, no problem. But if we start getting into a tough spawn, that's where we're going to have an issue. Once we stop fighting carnies, I will go back to my normal combo. Take these blues out. And go back to having reds in here. Single +2 lieutenant, no problem. Definitely with carnies, you want to be careful about things like upping the... where am I going here? Is this... Did we not go down this way? I thought we did. Yeah, we did. It's dead end. With carnies, you want to be very careful about upping the number when you do the difficulty, when you set the notoriety, going up to +2 or +3 players, because that's where they're going to get you. Right? Not so much doing damage to you, but just if you're not somebody like a reflex scrapper and you don't have defense, you are going to get creamed on the endurance. Right? I mean, range is good, but they will surround you even if you're like a blaster or something. Missed him. Alright, now this is going to be an actual fight, because I missed the initial attack. Right, and now he's going to turn on his invincibility, or no, temporary invulnerability. See? Got me again. You see how far that one guy pulled me down? Now imagine 3 of them. Right, so these guys are going to kill my endurance here, because all 3 of them are going to die one right after the other. There's no way to avoid it unless you want to carry a bunch of Lux. That's the other option. Now, one other option here, right, is to, well, see, I killed her too fast. The other option is to get her down to near nothing, back up, and do focus from range. That is a possibility, and you could potentially do it that way. On the other hand, these guys are a lot less annoying with this character because she can two-shot them. But again, you can see endurance is getting smacked. that thing is an illusion damage. So it does damage to you. It does actually does a lot of damage. Illusion controllers have it. It does pretty good damage for its level and stuff, and the fact that it's a low level attack, you know, one of the early ones you get. So it does really good damage. The disadvantage of it is that after like 5 or 10 seconds, the target gets them back. So the idea is you want to hit them with that to take them out, and then they won't get it back. Right? I had a really good friend who was an illusion controller, and when this thing first came out, people were like, "Oh, this sucks because they get the points, the hit points back." And he was like, "Well, that's no problem. Just use it right before you kill them, and they won't get them back because then they're gone." And you know, everybody figured that out, you know, pretty quickly. But I remember when the game first came out, a lot of people were complaining about that, and he was like, "Why would you even complain about this? Just use it as your kill button, right? And it works pretty well." Who's that over there? And that's Vanessa DeVore. Okay. So that could be trouble if she's actually going to be somebody we have to fight, because she's an elite boss and she's really tough. And I wasn't necessarily expecting to fight her in this mission. We are okay though. We have defense, we have endurance, we've got instant healing, and we have moment of glory. On the other hand, she's psychic, so most of what moment of glory does will not help us against her. That's really the instant healing and the luck that will help us the most. Okay, we're hidden. Hello, Vanessa. So she says, "Before you try, I have pacified you. Your will is weak, and I have made it so that we can have a conversation without the bloodlust for my head getting the better of you." You don't have any bloodlust for your head, Vanessa. "Once you have left this warehouse, I will return your free will to yourself. Trust me, your mind is not a place I wish to spend extended time. I want to know what happened in Waxahachie Park. What's your relationship, or where do the Carnival of Shadows stand should we be invaded?" So let's see what happened in Waxahachie Park. She says, "My troop was just out to have a little fun, you know. Cause a little mayhem, seed a little destruction, general good time. Then those robots came, started calling us Carnival of Light and attacked us. You showed up. You know the rest from there." Then we say, "What's your relationship to the Carnival of Light? I never heard of it. Doesn't exist as far as I care. On this earth there's only a Carnival of Shadows. Where do you stand? Should we be invaded from another dimension? As long as there's fun to be had, my troop and I will fight against whatever incurs here. You know I'm going to have to arrest you." "Oh, I don't know. Oh, I do know you'd love to arrest me, but answer me this, Tiger Shrike. How do you arrest an illusion?" And she flickers. Okay. She's cool looking. Like, kind of evil and goofy at the same time. I like her a lot. It's sort of spoilery because I'm pretty sure the actual Carnival of Light story arc does not tell you that Vanessa DeVore is the bad guy for a while. So this is like spoilerizing future story arcs. So she said, "It looks like they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time." Yep. And now part 6. Last time you were in Antimatter's orbital lab, you accessed some of the computers there, right? We've been going over that intel, and it gave us a thread we need to pull on. Antimatter referred to his time acceleration experiments as Project Deadline, meaning everything we can get on that project. So we're going to go to Peregrine Island, and I will bring you guys back when we are in Portal Corp. Okay, we are back at Portal Corp, and we are heading to defeat Antimatter. Ooh, defeat Antimatter. Well, we should, you know, at least inspiration should be alright. Mostly what we need is luck and accuracy. We should be alright on this. We have Moment of Glory. We have these other things. We aren't going to be facing psychic attacks from him, so Moment of Glory should help us out. So search computer network. And we have to defeat him and his clockwork, so I'm guessing this is a defeat all mission, so we will just pound everybody in here. Unlike the other labs from Paragon City, these labs are different in the sense that they don't have multiple levels. What are they debuffing me on? There's that little green thing around me. When you see those little green circles around me, that's not my character. They're debuffing me somehow. This thing, minus regen, yeah, good luck with that. Minus regen and minus regen, yeah, that's not great because they're hurting our main defense, but good luck with that, guys, because we have so much regen that it's not even funny. So they might be able to, like, negate fast healing and health, but they're not going to be able to negate all of it. Right? You can see we're still at 1.97%. 21 hit points regenerated a second. Now we're up to 23, right? And that's because we've recovered from their debuff, right? And it's no longer affecting me. And there's a lieutenant. Alright, we're going to do a nice shot to him. Oh, great. He's a guardian. So actually, with this guy, you should assassinate him first, right? Because the shield can't be put around nobody. What's it got me at? 44, and I'm still missing way more than 40% of the time. Right, and they're minus regen, knockdown. Right, again, this is an example with Silver Phoenix. Most of those debuffs would just never even land on her. Okay, we got a clue. Now we have to defeat him. Is there anybody near the repair bot? No. So he shouldn't buff anybody. Got him. My guess is he'll be over here somewhere. I feel like I have done this with Silver Phoenix, but I don't think... I'm pretty sure this was not... I didn't post this. And I may not have recorded it, right? Because I might have done this after 50th level. I'm not really sure. I hit this one so hard that it's still standing and dead. I love when that happens. There's Antimatter. He's an elite boss. How many hit points does he have? 5,000. So he has 5 times as many hit points as I do. There we go. Is this lieutenant alone? Yeah, so we're going to just take everybody out in this room and then we'll go after Antimatter. Now I would think this may well be if not the last, maybe the second to last part in this story arc, just because if we're going to already defeat antimatter, what do we need to keep going for? But I don't know. Look at that, 3 misses in a row. Alright, so that's everybody, I think, except him. So, oh, this is interesting. So this tells you what he drops, potentially. This is, all these things have a % chance, with the white being higher and the orange being lower. And there, this is where people will farm stuff like this, right? If you can come in here and not click that glowy and defeat him, right? And let's say he drops, I don't know, Rake the Alloy, and you want to farm that, then what you do is you go back outside. You come back in. You go back outside. You disconnect. Abandon the mission, whatever. You come back in. He's here again. And you could just keep doing it. It's a short mission. You could just keep doing it over and over again. As long as you don't both click the glowy and defeat him and get the mission complete, you could just farm it all day. And there are people who used to do stuff like that. I find that boring. But there are lots of people who used to do it. Alright, we're going to hasten up. We're going to do instant healing. We're going to take extra accuracy. Take some luck. And then we are going to smack him around. Look at that. Like eight didn't work. That's unfortunate. Alright. He's debuffing me big time. That's what all that green stuff around me means. Right. He's debuffed my melee defense. Ah, we didn't defeat him. He got away. Antimatter disappeared. He told me, "You fools, you have no idea what you are interfering with." So, you wouldn't be able to farm this if you can't defeat him. You need him to give you the drop. So that particular mission I was incorrect about, but any mission can be farmed that way. So, antimatter was accelerated in time, is using accelerated time dimensions to quickly assemble his clockwork armies. Why didn't I think of that? Yeah, I don't know, Tina. Why didn't you think of that? Let's see how long we've been going here. 22 minutes. So let's try one more mission. These haven't been long. Of course, you know what happens when I say that. I then get into a 45-minute mission. So I apologize, but let's just go ahead. I've got another Excel time dimension. It's the neighbor to Romeo 72, Romeo 73. Nearly identical, probably something in their dimensional makeup. Go there and deactivate any of those devices you find and bring back any information on what antimatter is up to. Alright. So now here I kind of wish that they had introduced a little algorithm where if you're standing in one of these rooms, it just sends you back through this portal. Because there really isn't any good reason to go into a different part of Portal Corp to just go through the same portal. But they don't have, as far as I know, they don't have an algorithm for that, right? They do have an algorithm. They appear to have an algorithm for knowing what zone you're in and giving you mission door in that zone. For certain missions, they do seem to do that, like the detective missions. But they don't seem to have an algorithm for which part of Portal Corp are you in and just give me another portal in that part. Which would be quite nice if they had done that. Here we go. So now what we have to do is take care of the accelerators. I don't know if we're going to have to defeat a boss. Shut down all the devices. Okay, so this is just going to be run around and look for devices, and I thought I saw something over here, but maybe not. When I tilted, no. So we know what this dimension's like. We've been in it before. And we're just going to have to try to find all of the glowies. There's one. Click. 4 to go. Now, after you've done these enough, and I haven't done this particular map enough, again, to remember them all, there are only about maybe 20 or so spots in this entire map where a glowy could be, and you start learning where those are, and you can just go straight to them. If you do them enough. Of course, I kind of do my best to avoid the outdoor missions as much as possible, so even though I do them a lot, I don't do them enough to really memorize all these positions where everything is. Okay, we're on the edge again here. Go this way. There might be one by the parking garage, or even in the parking garage. I think, is there a downstairs here? There isn't. I thought maybe there was. Sometimes there's something over here. If there's one here, it will probably be at the top. But no. Alright. I've done that one, right? Yep. So let's go this way. Oh, I hear one. There we go. And you know, guys, and I mentioned this before, the glowies originally did not make sound, like in beta. And I'm not sure when the sound was introduced. I hear another one. So there's one near here. I'm not sure when the sound was introduced, but like something like this would be really hard to find if you didn't hear the noise. One left. And it didn't show up. No spoiler this time. We're going to just have to actually find it. And there it is. Look, they were all in one spot. None of them were down here. And this should shut down all the time accelerators. Okay. So is there a boss to fight? What's going on here? Please tell me this is not a defeat all. Alright, let's go to the garage. Sometimes there's a boss around here. Oh, there's a purple. I just saw a purple. Over here. There. This guy. Mega Snap. Alright, so we don't want these guys to get involved, so let's do a pull. Come on. Come to me. Come to me. That's it. Don't need that. Okay. Anybody else around to get involved in this fight? Doesn't look like it. So again, you can look at what this guy drops. If you want something that he drops, there's a lot of orange, so it'd be hard to farm this guy, right? Because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12 different orange things. If you just want Rick the Alloy, yeah, you're going to defeat him 12 times to get one. But if he, let's say he drops fewer things and he just drops this as an orange, again, don't click the glowies, come in here, find him, defeat him, go out, disconnect, come back in, and just keep doing it over and over again. And that's how people used to farm. Let's try the placate on this guy. Whoops, no, wrong thing. Here. That's what we want. And then we're going to target him. Placate immediately. So he only gets one swing at me. Start instant healing and hasten. Heal up. Alright, and he knocks down, so that's good. Should have started instant healing and hasten before we got going. That was my mistake. He's nothing though. No problem. It's just a regular boss. I was thinking elite boss. Did he drop anything? He didn't even drop anything, right? So this is the thing with farming this guy. Farming a boss like that. You got to be in it for. I mean, you could see it only takes like 5 minutes to just beat the guys around him and beat him and go out. And what people would do is they would sit there for 3 hours, right, and do it like 10 times an hour and do it 30 times, and in 30 times you might get 5 orange drops from him. Never saw the point of doing that and never really wanted to. Alright, so she says the clockworks. We're trying to accelerate time. We're blue, not brown like antimatters. That sounds like Neuron, the Praetorian version of our own synapse. He's mimicking antimatter's methods. His clockwork have the color pattern like you describe. So, there's more to this story arc, but we're going to stop here. The Instant Army. We're going to stop here, and we will continue in another episode with this story arc. Until then, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Heroes.